Hello, good afternoon. Welcome to Aunt Anne's Tree. Today we're just going to relax and have some cookies and some coffee or whatever drink you're drinking, and we're going to craft. Just you and me, casually, hanging out, and I am going to make a cute little Valentine bear for this coming holiday, and I'm looking forward to trying it. This was a bear I used to make for a Christmas ornament, but I just adopted him into a Valentine's Day ornament. So let's get started. Well, it wouldn't be Aunt Anne's Tree or any other Curious Crafts if I didn't mess up the self-producing part of it. Hey, look what I have. I have cookies, I have coffee, and uncomfortable silence happening there. But we're back, and we have some wonderful music that you can hear through my stream here. It's by Ziv Moran. Thank you to Nerdsmith for the Artlist subscription that they have. And you can find that link right there on my main page. I meant to unplug that camera and plug in my mouse so I would have an easier time seeing and clicking buttons. Oh, this is so much better. So what I have today here is some wonderful Milano dark chocolate cookies, some Dunkin' Donuts coffee, and this gorgeous music you're listening to. And I've already cut out my little bear here, and I'm not really going to go into the instructions because this was meant to be a stream just to relax, and I need to relax. I need to take a deep breath and relax, and I hope that you are relaxing with me. So I'm just going to start sewing, and if you want to chat, I see chat. It's not on the screen, but I can see it, so I'll respond as I can, and I'm just going to get started. I've already cut them out. Here's the little pattern. You see the ornament there I used to make, but I've adopted it into a little heart ornament there with a little piece of red felt, and then this little wooden disc that said love on it. I thought that was so cute. So I'm going to start sewing. I have two different colors of floss that I use. One is it's DMC, and this is 433, and then this is 3864. And I'm just going to start by sewing his little ears. And I'm just going to use an embroidery stitch on the front. This is just the little patches inside his ears. And I'm just going to craft and relax and chill out. I got my light on. And I hope you enjoy just hanging out with me this afternoon. hello. How are you? I had my mic muted so that you wouldn't hear my ticking clock in the quiet. But I have unmuted. I'm making a cute little bear. Can you hear the music okay? I tested it upstairs, but I couldn't tell with me talking if my mic was too loud or the music was too loud. Good. I am great. I was so nervous doing this stream, and I don't know why, because I've done this before, but for some reason, I don't know, it just felt weird starting it. It's awkward. I guess it's because I wasn't planning to chat a lot, and I'm not used to not being very chatty. Oh, look at that little face. Okay, good. I'm glad it sounds okay. I just wanted some nice, quiet afternoon, relaxing, chilling, having some coffee. Got some coffee. I have these delicious Milano cookies, which I put on the tray here, but I've actually already had 2 of them. Oh, I have to do his claws too. I almost forgot. His claws. Yeah, I don't know why. I guess it's because I'm self-producing and I can't see. Yeah, cookies. I can't see my little laptop screen, and I didn't feel like hauling in. I'm in my regular craft room right now, not my stream studio. So I brought in my laptop.
A hearty welcome to Rylan, the necromancer of dead topics.
Hey, Rylan. Thank you for joining me today. I've done this before, and I don't know why. I just feel so nervous today. Like I said, I hauled it all into my craft studio, and I set it all up with just 2 cameras and the mic, and I realized, okay, well, now I can't plug in my keyboard and mouse, so I'll just use the laptop screen and the little pad, and I hate using that thing, and I can't see very well, and it's like, oh, I got so nervous. And then I realized I made an error I had a SoundCloud logo up for the music, and I realized I didn't get it off of SoundCloud. I originally was going to, but then I got access to Nerdsmith's art list music, and I've got this beautiful music by, I think it's pronounced Ziv Moran, and I realized that I didn't have the logo correct, so I ran out like 15 minutes ago and changed the logo, and then I thought, well, do I really need 2 screens? I don't need everyone to see me handcrafting and see my head bent over the table with the producer cam, so I took that out. Oh my goodness. We had a good time with the Banana Brothers last night, didn't we, Rylan? Oh my goodness. That was so much fun. Those guys, they're a mess, I tell ya. Especially Anchoku. He cracks me up. He's a very new player. Like, this is the first time he's ever played. He's catching on, although I think he picked one of the hardest classes to play. A Tiefling Warlock. In my opinion. Maybe not. Maybe it comes naturally to people. Look at that little face and his little hands. I'm gonna put his claws in his feet now. But I appreciate you guys joining me today, even if you're just listening to the music and chilling out. This is a test stream to see how I feel about doing this during the day. If it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. I still have my other programs that I love. Still gonna do 3 Sheets 1 Shot with Joe tomorrow night. Looking forward to that. Getting back to that. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna make him pigeon-toed. I'm gonna have his little claws turn in just a little bit. And I think Monday's Curious Crafts, getting back to terrain streaming, terrain dreaming, something. With my daughter Clover is going to be a ton of fun. I think he needs one more claw on his foot, 2 on his hands, 3 on his feet. But you guys set her right on Monday, that's for sure. She was all a sourpuss at the beginning, and then she started laughing at the end. So, but you know, teens, what can you do with them? I should have made these earlier so that I could get them on my Etsy shop. I don't know, even if I made a couple of them, don't know if I'd get them up on my Etsy shop in time for Valentine's Day. This is sort of a last minute craft idea. I was going to make a Christmas ornament, and then I saw him already cut out, ready to go with an ornament. See, typically he holds an ornament in his paw. I thought, wouldn't that be cute with a little heart for Valentine's Day? If I'd thought about it sooner, I would have made some to put on my Etsy shop, but oh well. Breaking the rules. Yay, terrain. Oh, I tell you, I fell right into going back to doing that terrain again. It was so much fun. And I think Joe seemed to appreciate the look of that terrain I was building for him. Although he sent me a private message, said, you don't have to make them all two-sided. Yeah, but that was the challenge. Oh, look at those little paws. Well, we'll be quiet. We won't tell anyone you're at work, Rylan. Like I said, we'll see how this goes. If it gives me too much anxiety to try to do it every week, then I'll just drop it. It's no big deal. This is not one of my flagship shows. I just crack up saying that phrase. Sounds like something completely different. Okay, so let's... His head is separate, so let's go ahead and sew the head. This is where his... I want to stuff it from the top. I'll stuff it over here. Or I'll go around... Ooh, how should I stuff it? I guess I'll stuff it from right here. This is just a fun show I thought would be fun for me just to do and get back to crafting. I had a very successful craft season last year, Christmas time, selling on Etsy and at local shows. And I thought, gosh, if I'd only started sooner, I would have had a much larger inventory of a variety of patterns. And then I thought, well, I should make some Halloween ornaments too. And so over the Christmas holidays, when we were traveling to my in-laws, I got a bunch of Halloween supplies, colors and felts and buttons and ribbons, and actually made a few Halloween ornaments. So maybe I'll do that. Yeah, I do need to get the Clover Scare Cam up. I cleaned off the entire stream scene collection because it was just a little crowded with everything that was going on. I took that out, but I do need to put that back in. But now that I'm paying her per stream, there are certain rules that she has to follow, and one of them is not to be on her device. So I don't know if you're going to get an opportunity to scare her a lot in the coming episodes. We'll see. I'm sure Drake will be happy to, if you send him a message, come down and go around the curtain and scare her a couple times. Oh, I'm so glad you like that. I didn't put any pineapple on it though. You know, I put my Etsy shop back on after the holidays. I always go on vacation on my Etsy shop, so no one feels like they're not going to get their ornament on time. And I just last month, toward the end of the month, I sold 3 more ornaments, and apparently they're going to use them for Christmas. But she was getting a jump on her Christmas ornament shopping, I guess. She's already put the reviews in there. Because I thought, well, maybe she's buying them for Easter, or I don't know. I couldn't figure out because one of them was the sheep, and one of them was the Holy Family, and what's the other one? What was the last one? But no, she said, I can't wait to put these up on my tree this year. No. I really, really, really like so far the patterns that I've worked with on the Halloween ornaments. I should go get those and show them to you. I did Frankenstein and his bride, but I made them steampunk. And people that are correct. Oh, don't get Dave started. Let's not start a fight on my Twitch stream about pineapple on pizza. Can't we all just get along? Okay, now here's the part. Oh, you know what? I don't put it on his head. I put it on his back so it hides it, so I could just keep sewing. That's the little loop for the ornament hook. Oh, I thought you said that do like. Oh, so Rylan, you like pineapple on your pizza too? You guys are two peas in a pod. To be honest, I don't think I've ever had pineapple on a pizza before, so I really can't judge. I would assume that it would be delicious with like either chicken or ham. Because traditionally, don't we put pineapples, like pineapple slices when we bake a ham? Yeah, I don't see why that would be bad. Although I'm not a big fan of pizza altogether. The pizza I like is a white pizza. I like a chicken Alfredo pizza with onions and bacon. I don't really care for the red sauce a lot, which I know is like sacrilege. Crow likes pepperoni pizza, like double pepperoni pizza and lots of sauce. Yes, it is. In some places, that's why they don't let certain sandwich shops be next to a pizza place at a strip mall. Alright, before I close this up, I better stuff him. Stuff his cute little face. Oops, I missed that stitch. How's the music? I picked a relaxing, chill music set from, like I said, I think his name is pronounced Ziv Moran, but I'm probably completely incorrect. Just something to relax and chill. Good, I'm glad. Well, like I've said in my previous ornament making streams, always use the best quality stuffing that you can get. Really makes a difference. You don't think it does because it's inside, but I think it does at least. Remind me at the end of the stream and I'll run and get those. They're just around the corner in my the other part of the stream studio. I'll get that bin of ornaments for the Halloween and show you. There's a cat, a black cat, and he has a candy corn on his belly. And I did, what else did I do? Did I do an owl? I think I was getting ready to do an owl, or maybe I can't remember. It was the holidays. That was at my in-laws. But I really enjoyed making that steampunk Frankenstein and his bride. My in-laws don't live far from the Joanne, so I made every excuse I could get to go shopping, much to Crow's chagrin. Put any of my readers on for this next part. Yeah, oh, what? Bimsy Noir. I used to crochet I don't think I've ever crocheted something to where I had to put it together. Usually I crochet things easy, like scarves. Although I did make my girls, American Girl dolls, some Christmas hats or winter hats and scarves one time, and that was probably the extent of my crochet ability. But I do enjoy crocheting. My my Nana, my mother's mother, whom I have always said is where I got my crafting ornament talent. She used to make Christmas ornaments all the time. She always overstuffed. I mean, to the point where the stitches would stretch so much you were afraid they were going to burst. So somewhere in between, not stuffing enough and Nana stuffing. Oh yeah, 3D. So, it was a nephew? Did they like it? Did he like it? Kitty did her first sewing last night. We had a little battle of wills last night. She wanted me to stitch up a hole in her little stuffed fox's paw. And I said, well, I need you to clean up all this pile of socks that you keep leaving in the family room. So she decided that instead she was going to sew it herself. He's the one. He probably loved it. So she asked for a thread and a needle, and she said she was going to do it herself. And she did. Still hasn't cleaned up those socks, but she sewed her own fox's paw. Okay, his little head's done, and now I'm going to work on his arms. The previous ornament I made had this part was solid, and his arms were attached, and I would just run a stitch. But I wanted a more 3D effect, so I decided to make his arms their own entity type of thing, separate from the body. But I haven't done one yet, so we'll see how this turns out. I think I'll start sewing right here so I can stuff it easier from the side. Whoops, I didn't knot that. Mango flavored, it could be. Isn't that what kids identify colors as fruit and flavors? A friend of my daughter, Clover's, we were picking her up for, she was coming over to do that lava video. That's her friend Sophie. And so Clover texted Sophie and said, what flavor smoothie do you want? Before we stopped over, we stopped to get smoothies. And her friend texted back, either mango or blue. And then she said, blue is a flavor, fight me. And Clover didn't disagree. Fortunately, they had her first choice, so they got mangoes. Blue is a flavor, she said. That's cute. Those two are something else. Is the screen too dark, Dave? I turned my overhead light off because it actually is too bright, and I just have one of my stream lights on, the umbrella lights, sort of over that way. And it's a little dark for me to be working, but it looks like on the... Is it good? Okay. Now, a lot of times when I do these little parts on an ornament, I will just do a running stitch. But my rule of thumb is to do a running stitch when it is totally inclusive on the main body of the ornament, and do a blanket stitch, which is what this is, on parts that are considered the body of the ornament. So that's why I'm doing a blanket stitch around these, because I didn't want to be inconsistent with the way his body was put together. Since I'm going to do a blanket stitch on the body, I wanted to do one on the arms as well. I don't know how I'm going to attach his arms. I can't decide if I'm going to make them free swinging or just glue them on there. I think I can do one more stitch and then I'll put the stuffing in. That's how I learned. In fact, I am making for the Banana Brothers stream and my Patreon push for the month of February, I am making dice bags. Now I cannot do them nearly as well as grayed out dice. I have one of his dice bags, and there's several dice makers on Twitter, friends of mine. Aris Savad, she makes beautiful dice bags and trays, and several others, and I'm not going to try to compete with them at all. I was just going to make a simple drawstring bag. I have some simple drawstring bag, and 3 tries later I still haven't mastered it. But I like the fabric. It's going to look like a swampy fabric, because the Banana Brothers are having this bit of a swamp issue that they're dealing with, this myconid fungal being that they realize they're probably going to have to eventually somehow defeat in the end game, getting to where they are. So we went with a swamp theme. So I've got some swamp golem dice from Die Hard Dice to give away, as well as these swampy looking, kind of green colored dice bags. We'll see what happens. You always poke yourself. But that's okay if you're using sharp needles. You can barely feel those. Or maybe I just don't feel them as much because I'm used to it. Oops. Oh, I just undid that. Trying to get that away from my hand. I have to re-thread that needle. Ah. I'll have to clip that in because it's gotten a little rough. Okay, back to business. I don't plan on selling the dice bags. I just want to make them for the giveaway. And I figured that was the least expensive option. And be able to kind of customize it to what I wanted for the giveaway. It's something that no one will be able to find anywhere else in that style and color, etc. Unless they have it custom made, of course. I had fun picking out the fabric. I do like sewing. I'm just not as adept at it as I am with hand stitching like this. Okay, we've got his little left arm there. Here's his right arm. I think I'm going to run out of thread, so I'll get a new one. I went ahead and pre-threaded several needles and knotted it, so that's ready to go. So this hand is curving under to then cradle the heart that will be attached to his body. Like I said, on the Christmas ornament version of it, it was an ornament, a little itty bitty round red ornament, and it was cute. Oops. No, I can get rid of that. They sell these on Amazon. I think I purchased them for Tranquil. Actually, Tranquil's fiance at the time, well now wife, I was putting together her bridal shower, and I was going to sprinkle a bunch of these little, it's almost like wooden confetti that have the word love on them. Let's see if I can get it on the camera. There we go. It's hard to see. But it just didn't work out with the tables we had and the space that we had, so I figured, well, I'll find some use for them, so this is it. And maybe I'll make some other Valentine ornaments in the future. I think I'm a lot of time to do them for this year. I like the fact that they're wood and they look kind of rustic. That was the theme she was going for. Wednesdays are a fun day for me. This show, and youngest, littlest, stays after school for her school's choir program that she auditioned and got into, and that's every Wednesday. So I get an extra hour and 15 or so minutes of kid-free time. So I guess I could craft longer than an hour if I wanted to, but we'll see how it goes. I haven't eaten any of these cookies yet. There's so many treats over the holidays. I need to get back to running and working out a little bit, do some cardio. Put on some pounds that I had just taken off. I can only justify having a winter coat for so long. A winter layer, especially here in the South when it's already like 65 today. Yeah, no, today's Wednesday. Sorry for those of you working. I feel bad. Today's only Wednesday. Tomorrow's stream is 3 Sheets One Shot with Joe, and that'll be fun. We're going back to the roots of the show's idea that we had originally, which was to simply write a one-shot and not do a continuing homebrew campaign program where we were writing the first arc of the Banana Brothers story, which is what they're currently just starting to play in now with this initial prologue of meeting their father. They're going to be playing that first arc. But and that was very helpful that we did that. But I wanted to get back to the roots of the idea, and that was to just do a simple one-shot that, you could get together with a bunch of friends and create level 1 characters or whatever characters, and just play through that quick one shot in a few hours and then call it a night. And I suppose if you wanted to homebrew more of the story, you could, but that was the idea. It's just in an hour, get the basic premise with the big bad evil dude, big bad evil gal or guy, and play through that. Have a couple twists to the story, of course. I like it because Joe is very knowledgeable with D&D, and he is really good about keeping up with chat. I'm not always so good about it. So we're both able to keep track of stuff a little bit better and bounce ideas off each other and the chat, and it's a fun time. So the premiere of that tomorrow night will be a lot of fun. And it's just for an hour. just from 8 to 9. And I moved it from Friday nights because sometimes we just do stuff as a family on Friday nights or even on the whole weekend, and I didn't want to have to worry about continuing to reschedule, so I moved it to Friday nights. And Joe said even if he can't make it, sometimes I could get a co-host, so I've lined up a few folks who would guest host in his absence if it's necessary, because I really don't want to do it alone. It definitely is more fun with somebody. Yeah, that is fun, and things that they can do. We could have a maybe with guest hosts, if they want to. We could do a magic item idea, because there are so many ideas that I have, but I just don't have the time to sit down and work it out. In fact, the Banana Brothers are currently carrying around a couple of items that I still have to write the stats for. Especially that tiara. I mean, I kind of know what the tiara is going to be, but I need to modify it for what's happening in Amonrath, my story. Okay, so his other arm is done. We may not finish today, though. I don't know if I can do it in 15 more minutes. Because once this is done, this part's done and stuffed, I could assemble him, and it won't take long after that. So I'm hoping to get done today. Maybe I'll go till 12:15. Why not? Whoops. Oops. I better cut that part off. Coffee flavored bear. Maybe I should drink some instead. Oh yes, tell me about them. The best flavor bear, coffee flavored bear. Yeah, I was thinking earlier that I better be careful, or I don't want the cotton, the polyfill stuffing or the thread to get in the coffee, and sure enough, I figured it was going to happen. Oh, I'm having a hot flash. I'm telling you guys, getting old sucks as a woman. A sack of weapons, which lets the user pull a random weapon as a bonus action from the bag and use it until their next turn. A bracer that when casting mail. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. That would be fun. Are you going to use that in your a Fortuitous Few campaign? Or is it going to be used? Well, you don't DM that, though. Maybe? Yeah. It is not fun. And Crow, you know, he's lost a bunch of weight, and so he's always cold now. So, me keeping the temperature down. Of course, I still get cold. I just have these hot flashes that I just have to wear layers. It's so cute. At night, we'll be sitting watching TV next to each other on the sofa, and he's got his little lap blanket, and I've got my little lap blanket, and half the time he's trying to find a way to cover his ankles better because he's still freezing, and I'm finding a way to toss it off and take it off my socks, and it's just, oh. That's okay. Growing old beats the alternative, right? Besides, I'm young at heart, right? More blankets! You know what, Rylan? I don't consider myself a very good DM either. I really count on my players to help me not only carry the story, but rule call when necessary. Last night, I can tell you that I did something that I wish I had not done, and that was advance what happened sooner than it should have. according to the calculations on that we made for that trip that they're supposed to take on this boat, they should not have come across those islands until like 5 days later, 6 days later. And I when I do it like day 2, it was like that ship was sailing. And either I remap it, either I redraw the map to put the islands closer, or I retcon and say no, actually 4 days went by. I don't know. I get nervous, and I don't want the audience to get bored, so it's like I want to advance to the point where I had something prepped, but I don't know, I should let them do their own thing, but sometimes they just stare at me like, what's next? And I'm like, I don't know what. Talk amongst yourselves. Yeah, the boss of everything, I know, right? But I feel bad because it's like, well, how did we get there so fast? It's only like day 2. And then I feel bad because they're like, well, I wanted to do this. It's like, well, you didn't say anything. You gotta tell me. But we're learning. We're learning how to deal with those issues. I'll retcon it. I'll say that they were 4 days out from the docks before they hit the island, the little uninhabited island, or whatever I called it at the time. Oh, there's a friend. I'm like, where did I stop? There it is. I had to turn that part off. I'm the boss of everything. I had my DM because I said so short on last night. So yeah. That design, I need to redo it because I think it's too small on my Teespring shop. It says because I'm the DM, that's why. But it's I think the lettering needs to be larger, and the artwork needs to be a little larger to show off Del Mori's skills a little bit better. But yeah, I get nervous DMing as well. And 3 of those brothers are also dungeon masters, so but 2 of them are my real life brothers, so I can give them a hard time if they overextend if they start meta DMing, and I don't want them to. But I honestly don't mind as long as it's as long as they don't call me out on everything. Sometimes it's because I said so. Skills. Alright, here we go. I'm near the top, and this is where I'll put the ribbon. I have to say it out loud or I'll forget. And then I'll have to go back, and I'll have to retcon the ornament. Just kidding. I think I'll cut out some more of these and make them. If I don't get them up in time for this year, I'll definitely have them. And maybe they'll make cute Christmas ornaments even with the heart on them. I don't see why not. They don't have to be Valentine's Day ornaments. And this is where the ornament holder is going to go. No, Anshoku does not have a significant other. He is very happily single. At least as far as I know. He's a very private person, if you haven't guessed that already. And he does get tickled. It's amusing. His younger brother, our other cousin, one of our other cousins, we have a big family, actually doesn't watch the show on Tuesdays because he plays Roll20 with some other friends, which we just found out on at Phil Boggs' wedding this past October. And I was like, oh, I didn't know you played, or I would have asked you too. He's a younger brother. He's about Tranquil's age, whereas Anshoku's more my age. Tranquil and Arlindor, Phil Bog, and we have a sister. I'm the oldest. No, I did not. I'll have to go back and look. Thank you for doing that. And I will let you know, Rylan. We have not, I have not forgotten that you are interested in doing that even as a guest. That would be awesome, especially since you have the camera and the Yeti mic and everything. That makes a difference to me. I don't want to do something that's only, that's not as nice, not as professional as we put the effort and money into. So because you have that definitely will be in the forefront. And you were on the short list of people to ask when Drake said he could not do it any longer, and we went with the Nerdsmith folks first. And when Angela, she's one of the Nerdsmith directors, said that her husband was interested, it worked out very well. But you definitely were going to be asked, you and a couple others. Ooh. That's nice. Good for you. That'll be fun. So Mrs. Rylan and your teen, they don't play at all any kind of gaming? I mean, Crow doesn't get involved with my streams. He's a very private person as well, but he does play. He stays extremely busy with work, so rarely do we do any kind of tabletop gaming. We do enjoy playing online games, though. In fact, this past weekend we played Raft with the girls, and it's been a blast. Oh, okay. Yeah, do one with, keep it a short group, a small group rather, with her and a couple of friends, and do a one-shot, see if they're interested. That'd be fun. That's what got Clover interested. Of course, unfortunately, she was excited to get into high school because they had a D&D club. And I really wasn't worried about it being any kind of misogynistic or gatekeeping type of club, because I'd heard that it was relatively open to everybody. And funny enough, when she went, there were some older girls there, and in fact it was a lot of girls, and they were running a game, and they invited her to join with I think a rogue. But the DM didn't really have a lot of control over the group, and one of the other members decided that they were just going to wear Clover like a backpack, her character like a backpack, and wouldn't put her down, and decided to just kind of boss her around as a backpack. And the DM never said anything about, well, do a grapple check, or let Clover's character do a strength to release from the grapple, and she just got sort of bored, always being carted around and being bossed around by this other character. So she stopped going. So I felt bad about that. And it's not a teacher-led group, it's a student-led group, so she really couldn't go complain. Oh, look at this little guy. Oh, I didn't turn on my glue gun. Hey, guess what? I'm using a Surebonder glue gun, and I'm going to turn it on. Hopefully it heats up in about 5 minutes, and we can glue the parts together. I didn't need to add that to my checklist. Yeah, she'll be fine. A murder hobo. Not only, well, had one, yeah. When I was in high school, we had one, but because I'm old. But I was not. I was into it, but not in high school. So if that makes any sense. And then by the time I got into it, I was out of high school and didn't have that. And of course, it went by the wayside. And when Drake was in high school, they did have a gamers club. They called it. They didn't call it D&D, and they did a lot of different gaming because that's when computer gaming was just hitting its peak with EverQuest and Warcraft. And so I missed out on being a part of that. Okay, so we're just gonna glue on his arms first. I do like the 3D effect of that. I wish I had done it with the other ones that I made. It takes a little bit longer, but I think it looks so much cuter. And look at the way his little toes turn in. His little paws. Surebonder usually takes only about 5 minutes to heat up, and I do have a fabric glue stick in here. Now the bad thing about a fabric glue stick is it does not dry clear. I'm covering it up on the screen, sorry. It dries white, so you have to be very careful gluing things on. If you squeeze too hard and some of it spurts out, you have to trim it away with scissors very carefully, so as not to damage your stuff. So you have to be very careful with the fabric glue sticks. It's meant to be more like a hidden type of stitch. So it's getting warm now. I think at the end of February we are going to have a no, it's not quite hot enough yet. At the end of February, when we do our prize giveaways, hopefully for our patron count, which we're working on increasing our patron to 20 if we can. If not, then every 2 will be a giveaway. So we're at 12 now. If we get 14, we'll have that first giveaway. But when we make those giveaways, we have a special announcement for a special what do you call it, event. We have a special event coming in April that includes all the Banana Brothers, and I cannot wait to share that with everybody. It'll definitely be a Twitch stream D&D exclusive, telling you guys about it, and I cannot wait. There is a fabric hot glue stick, and Surebonder was kind enough to send me a new glue gun and a bunch of glue sticks, and one of them was the fabric ones. So I now have 4 Surebonder glue guns. I keep fabric in this one. I keep regular in this one. And this one is my regular one, but it's the to-go one. It's the USB powered one. And I treated myself to the newest mini, but it's over there in my craft studio. Okay. Oh, it's hot enough now. Put my glasses back on. Okay, so we want it to go right about there. I'll make sure it doesn't show from either side. And I have used this fabric glue stick on things like, I have a lap tray that's a beanbag on the bottom and then the cardboard top, and it really holds well. depends on what you use it for, Rylan. I have so many uses for all my different Surebonders. Sometimes I think I should get the heavy duty one for just in case. But right now I have 4. That's a bit much. And I really don't use, I thought I had one, I was looking over there for glitter. I had a glitter one, but I really didn't use it that often. Because I don't want to waste the glue sticks. You know, I don't want to put the glue sticks in there and have to then have to squeeze them out to get them to feed through, and then I've wasted a whole glue stick, especially the specialty ones like the glow in the dark or the glitter ones. Let's put this on first. I'm going to glue this on. Normally I would have stitched it already, but because I wasn't sure where his hands would go, I didn't want to stitch it. So I'm going to just glue it on with the glue gun. And it'll be partially covered with the wooden piece anyway, so the stitching would be lost. Put it in the center so that when I apply it and squeeze down on it, it doesn't squeeze out too much and that white comes out. That would not be good. Okay. And then put his little head on. I'm going to put it on here because I'm not sure where. If I did it on here, I wouldn't want to put it up too high. So I'm just going to put it on here and then aww. And there we go. I did him. Look at that. Just in just a little over an hour. I'm just holding it to dry. I didn't have any of these cookies. Guess I'll treat myself to those in a little bit. But I put the ornament hook on the back, so it's kind of hidden. But there he is looking down at his little heart gesture. There he is. Oops, down this way. Aw, look at that sweet little bear. Okay, well, that's it for today. Thanks, guys, so much for joining me. I really had this, I guess, irrational fear that I would be talking to myself the entire afternoon. So thank you for joining me, Dave and Rylan. I really appreciate it. You guys are the best. And we'll see how I feel about next week. Right now, it's on the calendar, so I'm going to try to do it. But if it gets to be too much, you know, I'm not going to stress myself out. This is just supposed to be for fun, for everybody. But I really appreciate you guys hanging out with me today and watching. Bye.